There is a truth about life that most people discover far too late. Your life does not change when circumstances change. Your life changes when you change. Two people can face the same problem, the same economy, the same difficult day, the same storm, the same disappointment. And yet, one person becomes stronger, while the other becomes bitter. One finds an opportunity, the other sees only obstacles. One moves forward, the other remains exactly where they were. So what creates the difference? Is it luck? Is it money? Is it intelligence? Is it the circumstances they were born into? No. The difference is what they do with what happens to them. Because life will always happen. Problems will come. Disappointments will come. Difficult seasons will come. You cannot control everything that happens to you. But you can control what you become because of it. And that changes everything. It is not what happens. It is what you do. Think about the last 5 years of your life. Where were you? What were you doing? What habits did you have? What did you believe about yourself? Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. If nothing changes, what will the next 5 years look like? Because if you continue doing exactly what you've been doing, the future will probably look remarkably similar to the past. Different calendar. Same life. Different year. Same habits. Different goals. Same results. Unless you change something. And here's the powerful part, you don't have to change everything today. You only have to change something. One decision. One habit. One discipline. One skill. One direction. One serious commitment to yourself. That's how lives change. Not always through some dramatic event. Sometimes your entire future begins with one ordinary decision: I'm not living like this anymore. If you don't like where you are, change. If your current situation doesn't suit you, change. If you're unhappy with your direction, change. You are not a tree. You are not permanently planted in one place. You can move. You can learn. You can rebuild. You can become someone different. And perhaps that's one of the most powerful things about being human: you can change yourself. A lot of people spend their lives waiting. Waiting for more money. Waiting for the right opportunity. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for someone to help them. Waiting for circumstances to improve. Waiting for life to become easier. But waiting doesn't build a better future. Action does. You can spend years hoping things will change. Or you can become the person capable of changing them. Because here's the uncomfortable truth: the world doesn't owe you an easier life. Life contains difficulty. It always has. There will be seasons when things go wrong. There will be times when your plans collapse. There will be moments when you don't know what to do next. That's normal. The question isn't, how do I eliminate every problem? The better question is, how do I become strong enough, wise enough, and skilled enough to handle them? That is personal development. You cannot remove every winter from life. But you can become stronger during winter. You cannot control every storm. But you can learn how to stand in one. You cannot change every circumstance. But you can change yourself. And that is where your power begins. One of the most important lessons in personal growth is this: don't wish it were easier. Wish that you were better. Don't wish for fewer challenges. Wish for more strength. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more wisdom. Don't wish for an easier road. Become a better traveler. Because difficulty itself is not always the enemy. Sometimes difficulty is the training ground. A difficult season can teach you discipline. Failure can teach you humility. Rejection can teach you resilience. Loss can teach you what truly matters. And struggle can force you to discover abilities you never knew you possessed. Think about that. Some of the strength you are looking for may only appear when life demands it from you. So when the difficult season comes, don't immediately ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What can this teach me? What skill do I need? What weakness do I need to fix? What mistake do I need to understand? What kind of person do I need to become?" Because the winter may not change. But you can. And when you become stronger, the same winter becomes easier to survive. Motivation feels powerful. But motivation alone is not enough. You can become excited about changing your life. You can watch motivational videos. You can write down goals. You can imagine your future. You can feel inspired for an entire evening. But eventually, the excitement fades. And that's when the real work begins. Because the ability to make yourself do what is necessary, even when you don't feel like doing it, is called discipline. Discipline is what turns intention into reality. You don't become physically stronger by thinking about exercise. You become stronger by doing it. You don't become financially successful by thinking about money. You become better by learning, working, saving, investing, and creating value. You don't develop confidence by waiting to feel confident. You develop confidence by repeatedly doing difficult things. That's why you should start small. Don't try to conquer your entire life in one day. Start with the little disciplines. Wake up when you said you would. Do the work when you said you would. Read when you said you would. Exercise when you said you would. Finish what you start. Keep promises to yourself. Because every small discipline is building something inside you. Character. And eventually, small disciplines become big capabilities. You train yourself to handle little challenges so that when life gives you something enormous, you're ready. There is another lesson you need to understand. You have to learn how to motivate yourself. You cannot depend on someone else to keep you moving. What happens when they stop encouraging you? What happens when nobody is watching? What happens when nobody believes in you? What happens when the applause disappears? That's when you discover whether your motivation was real. You need something deeper than excitement. You need a reason. A purpose. A standard. A commitment. Because nobody can live your life for you. Nobody can make your decisions for you. Nobody can build your character for you. People can inspire you. People can teach you. People can help you. But eventually, you have to do the work. And that's not depressing. That's empowering. Because it means your future isn't entirely in someone else's hands. You have responsibility. And responsibility means you have power. If you can change yourself, you can change your direction. So how do you actually improve your life? The first step is simple: learn. Find out how things work. If you want to become successful, study success. If you want to become wealthy, study wealth. If you want to become healthier, study health. If you want stronger relationships, study relationships. Don't leave important parts of your life to chance. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that effort alone is enough. You can work hard and still move in the wrong direction. You can be sincere and still be ineffective. You can be busy and still accomplish almost nothing. So don't just work harder. Learn better. Get better ideas. Read. Study. Observe people who have already achieved what you're trying to achieve. Learn from their mistakes. Learn from their experiences. Because you don't have enough time to make every mistake yourself. Sometimes one good book, one good mentor, one good idea can save you years. That's why curiosity is so powerful. Stay curious. Ask questions. Look for answers. Never become so confident that you stop learning. And never become so comfortable that you stop growing. One of the most valuable habits you can develop is reading. Not because books are magical, but because they give you access to other people's experiences. Think about it. Someone can spend 30 years learning something and then put those lessons into a book. You can potentially learn from those 30 years in a few hours. That's leverage. You don't have to experience every failure yourself. You can learn from someone else's failure. You don't have to spend decades discovering every principle. You can study the people who already discovered them. So don't simply become a follower. Become a student. A student asks, what can I learn from this? What am I missing? What don't I understand yet? What should I study next? That mindset keeps you growing. And the more you learn, the more choices you have. The more skills you develop, the more valuable you become. The more valuable you become, the more opportunities become available. That is why personal development matters. Because the goal isn't simply to get more. The goal is to become more. You cannot create more hours in a day. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. So if you cannot create more time, what can you create? More value. You can become more skilled, more knowledgeable, more disciplined, more useful, more creative, more capable. And that's where your opportunities begin to expand. You don't need to spend your entire life asking, what am I getting? Ask a better question, what am I becoming? Because what you become determines what you're capable of creating. And this is why personal development is so important. If you suddenly received a fortune today, but you remain the same person, would you know how to keep it? If you suddenly received a great opportunity, but lack the skills to handle it, could you take advantage of it? Success isn't only about getting something. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle what you get. Grow yourself. Build yourself. Develop yourself. Because your future depends heavily on the person you're becoming today. And now comes one of the most important principles: whatever you don't use, you lose. Your abilities need to be exercised. Your courage needs to be exercised. Your ambition needs to be exercised. Your creativity needs to be exercised. Your discipline needs to be exercised. Your mind needs to be exercised. A talent that remains unused doesn't become stronger. It becomes weaker. So take a new inventory of yourself. What abilities are sitting unused? What ideas have you ignored? What skill have you been postponing? What opportunity have you been afraid to pursue? What part of yourself have you neglected? You already possess things that could change your life. But potential means nothing if you never use it. A seed contains potential. But it still has to be planted. Your ability contains potential. But it still has to be used. So don't spend your life protecting your potential. Use it. And now we come back to the central message. The major key to your better future is you. Not your circumstances. Not your past. Not your excuses. Not what happened yesterday. You. You cannot control every season. But you can control how you prepare for it. You cannot control every opportunity. But you can control whether you're ready when it arrives. You cannot control every problem. But you can control who you become while solving it. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Stop waiting until you feel motivated. Start with what you can control. Learn something. Build a discipline. Read something valuable. Develop a skill. Take responsibility. Use your abilities. Improve yourself. And then do it again tomorrow. Because your future isn't created in one dramatic moment. It's created through thousands of small decisions. One day at a time. One discipline at a time. One lesson at a time. One improvement at a time. And eventually, you look back and realize that you are no longer the person who started. You became stronger. You became wiser. You became more capable. You became more valuable. And that's the real victory. The greatest value in life isn't simply what you get. It's what you become. So don't wish for an easier life. Become better. Don't wait for your future. Build it. Don't ask when things will change. Ask yourself, what am I going to change today? Because the major key to your better future has been in your hands all along. It is you.